Hello and a very warm welcome. You're watching Rajya Sabha TV. It is 1 p.m. time for the midday news. I'm Ashwarya and these are the headlines. Voting amid tight security for assembly elections to Madhya Pradesh and Mizoram. 21% voting in Madhya Pradesh till 11 a.m. 29% voting in Mizoram. Whirlwind campaigning by parties for Rajasthan and Telangana continues. Union Ministers Harsimrat Kaur Badal and Hardeep Singh Puri to attend the groundbreaking ceremony of Kartarpur corridor on the Pakistani side. Pakistan Prime Minister Imran Khan to lay the foundation stone today. Prime Minister Modi to travel to Argentina for the G20 summit today. Situation of a global economy and trade, women empowerment, infrastructure and sustainable development to be discussed. Bilateral meetings with several world leaders, including Chinese President Xi Jinping, on the sidelines. Countdown underway for the launch of ISRO's Earth Observation Satellite HISIS tomorrow. 30 other co-passenger micro and nano satellites from 8 nations to also be placed in the orbit from the PSLV C-43 launch vehicle. And India to play South Africa in the first match of the Men's World Cup Hockey Tournament in Odisha. Belgium to take on Canada in the second match today. Let us begin the bulletin with all the action from the 5 election-bound states. First up, news from Madhya Pradesh, where 21% voting has been registered till 11 a.m. in the state. That is voting for the 230 seats in the state assembly today. Around 70 electronic voting machines were also replaced at various polling booths following complaints of technical snags. 2 polling officials died due to health issues while performing their duties in Indore and in Guna districts. Election Commission has announced 10 lakh rupee each as compensation for the kin of the Election Commission officials who passed away while on election duty.
मशीनों को 2 बार चेक किया गया है और पहले बार में 7% मशीन खराब हुए थे, उनको बदला गया और दूसरी बार में 6% मशीन जो चेक करते समय बदले गए और ये स्वाभाविक है कि अभी जब तीसरी बार हम चेक कर रहे हैं कुछ तो मशीन खराब होंगे, लेकिन ये उतनी बड़ी मात्रा में नहीं है जितना हमने पहली बार चेक करते समय हुआ है। इसका हम आधा घंटे से लेकर 1 घंटे के अंदर हमने उनको बदल दिया।
Well, the BJP is eyeing a 4th straight term in office in Madhya Pradesh, while the Congress is hoping to make a comeback in the state. Now, as many as 2,907 candidates, including 1,094 independents, are in the fray. Among the candidates, 250 are women. The state has 5.04 crore eligible voters. Of the 230 seats in 227 seats, voting is being held from 8 in the morning to 5 p.m. while in 3 assembly segments of Naxal-affected Balaghat district, it is being held from 7 in the morning to 3 in the afternoon. And Lok Sabha Speaker Sumitra Mahajan cast her vote in Indore in the morning today.
यहाँ अपना मत देने आई हूँ जो प्रजातंत्र में मेरा अपना अधिकार है और मेरे साथ साथ सभी का अधिकार है.
And among the early voters were Chief Minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan. Remember, he is the candidate from Budni.
पूरी तरह 100% हम आश्वस्त हैं कि भारतीय जनता पार्टी भारी बहुमत से सरकार बनाएगी. मैं सबसे प्रार्थना करता हूं कि केवल वोट नहीं है, ये मध्य प्रदेश का भविष्य बनाने वाला चुनाव है. आपका एक वोट किसान को पसीने की पूरी कीमत देगा.
And Congress's Kamal Nath also cast his vote from Chhindwara. And Jyotiraditya Scindia also cast his vote this morning, and that he did from Gwalior.
हर चुनाव का अपना महत्व होता है और ये चुनाव का भी अपना महत्व है। तो ये स्पष्ट है कि ये संकेत देगा 2019 का।
And Prime Minister Modi appealed to the people of the state to come out in large numbers and vote. And our correspondent Navikram Singh sent us this report from Bhopal, where polling is on in full swing.
Polling is underway for 230 assembly seats in Madhya Pradesh. I would like to show you the visuals. Visuals are speaking themselves. It is a long queue, and let's try to talk with some voters who cast their vote. आपको मतदान कर कैसा लगा? कितना अच्छा लगा?
गौरवान्वित महसूस कर रहा हूँ।
अच्छा, जी दिखाइए हमें। अच्छा, नाम बता दीजिए।
अमरनाथ तिवारी। अमरनाथ जी, ये बताइए कि आप क्या संदेश देना चाहेंगे मध्य प्रदेश के और वोटर जो अभी तक नहीं निकले हैं? वो भी वोट डालने के लिए आए और ज्यादा से ज्यादा मतदान करें।
चुनाव आयोग ने कैसा इंतजाम किया है?
बहुत अच्छा किया, इस बार तो ज्यादा से ज्यादा अच्छा किया।
So you can see this is the reaction from Madhya Pradesh voter, where ruling BJP is eyeing for fourth state term, while the opposition Congress is seeking to return in power after 15 years. With camera person Junaid Iqbal Khan, Navikram Singh, Rajya Sabha TV, Bhopal.
And on to the other state where polling is on. Around 29% voting has been recorded till 11 a.m. in the state of Mizoram. The polling is underway for 40 assembly seats in the state. Now, there was an enthusiastic turnout of voters, including first-time voters, women and the aged. 7.7 lakh voters are eligible to cast their votes in the state. Now, there are 1,164 polling booths across the state, with additional 15 special booths for blue voters from 6 camps in Tripura. A total of 209 candidates are in the fray. The Congress and the Mizoram National Party, both the parties have fielded 40 candidates each, while the BJP is contesting on 39 seats. The Zoram People's Movement, an alliance formed by 2 political parties and 4 groups, is contesting in 35 seats. The polling that began at 7 a.m. will end at 4 p.m. Chief Minister Lal Thanola is confident on victory.
Mizoram, every 2 terms they change the government. So are you going to...
I'm going to break the jinx.
So why? How? What is the...
Because of our good work.
And Prime Minister Modi, in a Twitter message, appealed to the voters in Mizoram as well to turn up in large numbers. All right, our colleague Akhilesh Suman is now joining us live from Aizawl in Mizoram. Akhilesh, 29% voter turnout till 11 a.m. What is the latest that you can tell us? Because we understand that no untoward incident really has been reported and peaceful polling going on in the state.
Yeah, actually it's a very peaceful polling going in the state, and the electoral officer has not released the polling percentage till now. We are trying to get it at the earliest. But what I have seen at many booths that there is very good voter turnout, and since 6:30 a.m. in the morning, voters were there sitting on the benches in front of the polling booths. And in Mizoram, there is a very good arrangement that they don't have to queue up and stand up. Rather, they are being given benches to sit in front of the polling booths. So in a way, voters are at convenience and they are at comfort. But given the fact that Mizoram is a far eastern state, there is also a feeling of the lack of infrastructure in the state, and voters, there is something there in the mind of voters that I was trying to get out of them, and they are telling that we want the good governance, we want good infrastructure. So these are the things in the mind of the people, and I think that after the polls are going to end at 4 p.m. in all the constituency, other than one brew area that will end at 3 p.m.
Yes.
We will get a proper percentage, around 5 p.m. that what is the voter turnout. But since then, till now, I am getting good voter turnout. Acharya.
Right, Akhilesh, as you were mentioning that, the Election Commission has set up 15 special polling stations at a village near the Mizoram-Tripura border to facilitate this voting by Bru refugees, who've been sheltered in Tripura for the last 21 years. Have you been able to get any sort of reaction from there, any inputs from there as to what kind of voting is going on there, what kind of response really has been from the Bru voters?
Right. It's a very, there is a lot of excitement about Bru voters in this state. That earlier there was a lot of controversy about Bru voters. Many of the social organizations of Mizoram came out and open and they opposed that no, government should not provide any help and any transport to the Bru voters who are coming from Tripura. But finally, when the Election Commission and when the government decided that yes, we will facilitate the Bru voters who are inside Tripura territory in the relief camps, it is amazing that all social organizations came on board with the Election Commission and the government, and now they have put banners that welcome Bru voters. And since morning I am getting, though I am not, because it is very far away from, Aizawl, and
Yes.
it's difficult to go there. But what I am getting input from the election, machinery here, that people are turning up in very good numbers, and they have been, told that please come, and they are welcoming. The banners are put there, and even I was shown a very old lady, 80 years old Bru lady who came from Tripura and voted for in Mizoram. So it is very quite exciting phenomena in Mizoram, and I think that Mizoram is the first state where voters are coming from another state. They are polling vote in other state, and they are going to another state.
Absolutely.
This is quite exciting for everyone.
Absolutely. A lot of enthusiasm there being seen among Mizoram voters. Of course, the counting of votes for both Mizoram as well as Madhya Pradesh will take place on December 11, along with that of Rajasthan, Chhattisgarh and Telangana. Thank you so much, Akhilesh, for all those updates. We'll keep coming back to you in the subsequent bulletins for more on that story. And while Madhya Pradesh and Mizoram vote, whirlwind campaigning by various political parties is on in the remaining two states of Rajasthan and Telangana that will vote on 7th of December. Prime Minister Modi is campaigning in Rajasthan. He addressed a rally in Nagaur a short while ago, and he said that he has risen to the post of the Prime Minister from among the masses. The Prime Minister said that the fight is between those who work and those who are born with a golden spoon in their mouth. The Prime Minister will address another rally in Bharatpur as well.
आज जब शौर्य और श्रम की इस धरती पर एक कामगार नामदार के खिलाफ लड़ाई के मैदान में है, और तब आप ही में से एक आपसे जरा भी अलग नहीं, जो जिंदगी आप गुजारते हैं वही जिंदगी मैंने गुजारी है। जिस जिंदगी को आप जी रहे हैं वही जिंदगी मैं जिया हूं। न आप सोने का चम्मच लेकर के पैदा हुए हैं, न मैं सोने का चम्मच लेके पैदा हुआ। न आपके माता पिता दादा दादी कभी राज करते थे, न मेरे माता पिता दादा दादी कभी राज करते थे। पहली बार आपके बीच से पला बढ़ा एक कामदार आज फिर से एक बार नागौर की इस संत की भूमि, शूरवीरों की भूमि, भक्तों की भूमि, ये कामदारों की भूमि, एक कामदार आपसे आशीर्वाद मांगने आया है।
And Congress President Rahul Gandhi is campaigning in Telangana today. Today he'll be addressing 4 public meetings. Congress President Rahul Gandhi, TDP President N. Chandrababu Naidu and leaders of other alliance partners for the Telangana Assembly elections will also participate in a joint rally in Khammam. The Congress, TDP, CPI and Telangana Jan Samiti have formed the Grand Alliance for the 7th of December polls. The leaders are also expected to participate in road shows during the campaign for the elections. Rahul Gandhi and UPA chairperson Sonia Gandhi had earlier participated at an election rally in Medchal on Friday. And right now, Rahul Gandhi is addressing a rally in Telangana. Let's go across live.
కేసీఆర్ గారు మొత్తానికి మొత్తం ఆదాయాన్ని వాళ్ళ కుటుంబానికి వాళ్ళ బంధువులకు కాంట్రాక్టర్లకు మాత్రమే కట్టబెట్టడం జరిగింది. తెలంగాణ की गरीब जनता को अगर स्वास्थ्य की जरूरत हो, शिक्षा की जरूरत हो तो लाखों रुपए देने पड़ते हैं. తెలంగాణ పేద వాళ్లకు శిక్షణ ఇవ్వడానికి లక్షల రూపాయల ఖర్చు అవుతుంది. स्वास्थ्य के लिए अगर MRI की जरूरत हो, एक्सरे की जरूरत हो तो प्राइवेट अस्पताल में हजारों रुपए देने पड़ते हैं. వాళ్ళ ఆరోగ్య పరీక్షలు చేయించాలంటే ప్రైవేట్ హాస్పిటల్లో చూయించాలి, వాళ్ళకి లక్షల రూపాయల ఖర్చు అవుతుంది.
So indeed, campaigning has picked up pace in poll-bound Telangana. BJP President Amit Shah is also campaigning in the state. He is scheduled to address public meetings and road shows in Adilabad and in Nalgonda. External Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj is also campaigning in Telangana today. Addressing a press meeting, Sushma Swaraj said that her party has always worked for the development of the state right from its formation.
भारतीय जनता पार्टी के समर्थन के बिना तेलंगाना का निर्माण नहीं हो सकता था और भारतीय जनता पार्टी ने कभी किंतु परंतु नहीं की, कभी इफ और बट नहीं लगाया. हमारे यहाँ बाकायदा प्रस्ताव पारित हुआ था, उस प्रस्ताव को हम लोगों ने संसद में सिरे चढ़ाया और तेलंगाना का निर्माण करवाया. पर आज की तस्वीर, जैसे मैंने कहा कि युद्ध की सेनाएं देखी जाती हैं, तो उस समय कौन कहाँ खड़ा था और आज कौन कहाँ खड़ा है, अगर इसको आप देखेंगे तो उधर कॉन्ट्रडिक्शन है और इधर क्लैरिटी. एक अकेली पार्टी है जो उस समय भी तेलंगाना निर्माण के साथ थी, आज तेलंगाना की प्रगति के साथ है, तेलंगाना की उन्नति के साथ है. लेकिन बाकी पार्टियां जो विरोध में थी वो समर्थकों के साथ खड़ी हैं, जो समर्थक थे वो विरोधियों के साथ खड़े हैं.
And big story coming in from Jammu and Kashmir, where most wanted Lashkar-e-Toiba militant Naveed Jat, who was allegedly involved in the assassination of a journalist Shujat Bukhari, was killed in an encounter in Jammu and Kashmir's Budgam district today. The gun battle broke out after security forces launched a cordon and search operation in Budgam in the morning, following information about the presence of militants there. One more militant was also killed in the operation. Remember, veteran journalist Shujat Bukhari was shot dead by terrorists outside his office in the heart of Srinagar in the month of June this year. And internet services in Budgam have been snapped as a precautionary measure.
2 मिलिटेंट मारे गए हैं, मगर बड़ी बात ये है कि अभी तक की ग्राउंड वेरिफिकेशन के मुताबिक उसमें नवीद जाट भी मारा गया है. और नवीद जाट अकेला अगर मिलिटेंट देखें जो इस वक्त जो उसका लेवल था जहाँ पर, तो ही वाज वन ऑफ द टॉप मोस्ट कमांडर्स ऑफ लश्कर-ए-तौबा, और जहाँ पर लश्कर को पूरी को लीड कर रहा था. और अलग अलग जगहों पे, ख़ास तौर पे साउथ कश्मीर में और सेंट्रल कश्मीर के अंदर उसके जो एरिया ऑफ ऑपरेशन था.
And Union Ministers Harsimrat Kaur Badal and Hardeep Singh Puri left for Pakistan today to attend the groundbreaking ceremony of the Kartarpur corridor on the Pakistani side today. The foundation stone of the corridor linking Gurudwara Darbar Sahib in Pakistan's Kartarpur to Dera Baba Nanak Shrine in India's Gurdaspur district will be laid by Pakistani Prime Minister Imran Khan. The Kartarpur corridor will facilitate visa-free travel of the Indian Sikh pilgrims to Gurudwara Darbar Sahib in Kartarpur and is expected to be completed within 6 months. Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu and Punjab Chief Minister Amarinder Singh had laid the foundation stone of the corridor on the Indian side in Gurdaspur on Monday.
जिस धरती से मेरा सरहद पार कोई भी नहीं है, कोई बुलाने वाला नहीं, कोई सदा नहीं, उत्थे धन गुरु नानक पातशाह ने बुलावा देके नतमस्तक होण दा जिवें अज करोड़ा अरदासा लोगों की अरदासा सदका इस जमाने को मौका मिल रहा है. आज मालिक के चरणों से जाके अरदास करूंगी कि मेरे वर्गे सिख कौम को हमेशा उन्होंने ਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬਾਂ ਦੇ ਦਰਸ਼ਨ ਦੀਦਾਰ ਮਿਲਦੇ ਰਹਿਣ ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਅਰਦਾਸਾਂ ਕਰਦੇ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ। ਸੋ ਮੇਰੇ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਇੱਕ ਬਹੁਤ ਹੀ ਇਮੋਸ਼ਨਲ ਮੂਮੈਂਟ ਹੈਗਾ ਤੇ ਇੱਕ ਬਹੁਤ ਹੀ ਇਤਿਹਾਸਿਕ ਦਿਨ ਹੈ।
I feel greatly privileged and blessed to be able to make this pilgrimage. I am particularly fortunate that as a proud Sikh, I will have the privilege of going and praying at Gurdwara Kiratpur Sahib, Kartarpur Sahib. Let me tell you that this has been a long-standing demand of the Sikh community. This is a demand which I am aware exists at least since 1994. In fact, when Vajpayee ji went to Lahore, at that point of time, the issue had been raised by our side. At that time, the demand had been raised, and I am grateful to the governments of both the parties.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi will today leave for Argentina to attend the G20 summit. And ahead of the visit, the Prime Minister in a series of tweets informed that G20 participants will review their work of the last 10 years and deliberate on issues like global economy, trade, women empowerment and sustainable development. The Prime Minister said that G20 has made commendable efforts to promote cooperation among the leading global economies. The Prime Minister added that India's contribution to global economic growth and prosperity underlines a commitment to building consensus for fair and sustainable development, which is the theme of the summit this year. And the Prime Minister will also hold bilateral meetings with the Chinese President Xi Jinping and also trilateral meet with US President Donald Trump and Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe on the sidelines of the summit. Prime Minister Modi will also meet United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres, presidents of Argentina and Chile, and German Chancellor Angela Merkel. And on the bilateral meetings, the Prime Minister said that these meetings are wonderful forums to exchange views on bilateral matters of mutual interest.
This is a very short visit. In and out, he will be on the ground for just 48 hours in Buenos Aires. And therefore, in those 48 hours, there will be the multilateral meetings, the sessions of the G20, as well as is usual practice at international conferences and gatherings, bilateral meetings in the margins of the summit. At the 10th anniversary of the G20, it is certainly our expectation that the leaders will also reflect on what has been achieved in the past 10 years and what we can look forward to in the next 10 years. And a book on Prime Minister Narendra Modi's style of governance will hit the stands this week. Finance Minister Arun Jaitley released the book titled Making of New India on Tuesday in the presence of President Ramnath Kovind at the Rashtrapati Bhavan. The book is an effort to explain the Modi government's policies in diverse fields, from handling of the Doklam crisis to demonetization and the ordinance against a triple talaq. It focuses on Prime Minister Modi's image as a hands-on decision-maker with an undiluted emphasis on efficacy and accountability ahead of the 2019 Lok Sabha elections. It has been put together by nationalist think tank Dr. Shyama Prasad Mukherjee Research Foundation and the members of the Niti Aayog. And speaking at the occasion, Finance Minister Arun Jaitley said that the growth in the country has improved due to the reform measures taken by the Narendra Modi government. And President Ramnath Kovind received the first copy of the book. He said that contemporary governance has played a pivotal role in giving shape and form to an all-inclusive idea of New India.
It is in this respect that contemporary governance has played a vital role in giving shape and form to this all-inclusive idea of New India. Inclusiveness is more than just a slogan. The government has taken this philosophy to the center of its policy making. Numerous measures have been taken to ensure that socio-economic groups, communities and regions that had so far been left behind in the India growth story are mainstreamed in a holistic manner.
Today at a stage where infrastructure growth is much higher, we are at a stage where we've eased the environment and the process of doing business. We've eliminated charges of corruption into decision making which used to come. And a large benefit of this resource is being transferred to the average citizen, more particularly the deprived ones.
And on to the other top story this afternoon, the countdown for the launch of the ISRO's Polar Satellite Launch Vehicle, PSLV-C-43, carrying India's latest Earth observation satellite, HISIS, and 30 satellites from 8 other nations began this morning. It will be launched tomorrow from Sriharikota. Of the 30 satellites, 23 are from the United States. Now, HISIS is an Earth observation satellite developed by ISRO. It is the primary satellite of the PSLV-C-43 mission, and the primary goal of HISIS is to study the Earth's surface in visible, near infrared and shortwave infrared regions of the electromagnetic spectrum. The co-passengers of HISIS include 1 micro and 29 nano satellites from 8 different countries. All the satellites will be placed in a 504-kilometer orbit by PSLV-C-43. All the sporting action now after the grand opening ceremony of the 14th Men's Hockey World Cup 2018 in Bhubaneswar on Tuesday. The stage is all set for the top 16 teams to compete for the coveted title. The group stage matches will begin from today with India taking on South Africa in their Pool C encounter, while in the opener, Belgium will take on Canada as well. 8-time Olympic champion India's only glory at the World Cup came way back in 1975, and the hosts will be looking to create history this time. Now, ranked 10 places above world number 15 South Africa, India will go into the tournament as one of the favourites. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Narendra Modi has extended his wishes to the 16 teams that are participating in the tournament. Through his Twitter handle, the Prime Minister welcomed all the teams and said that the tournament will be a treat for the sports lovers. And the 49th edition of the International Film Festival of India will conclude in Panaji today. Legendary screenwriter Salim Khan will be honoured with the IFFI's special award for his lifetime contribution to cinema at the closing ceremony. 212 films from 68 countries were showcased to packed audiences during the 9-day event. The Indian Panorama section also showcased 26 feature films and 21 non-feature films from India. While Israel was the focus country this year, Jharkhand was the focus state. That's it from me and the entire Midday News team at the moment. Thanks for watching.